This can't be done.
Yes, it can. Just have to go deep enough.
Hey, welcome back to our channel. This is Meta Watch Party, and today we're here to meta watch one of our favorite friends of the channel, Pink Book Lessons.
Nice.
And let's see, how many layers meta are we going today? You're gonna watch us watch Pink Book Lessons, and she is watching what's been transpiring with the Diddy debacle and the recent raid. That's 3. You watch us.
Us. Pink Book.
Oh.
Diddy.
4 layers meta.
4 layers meta.
All right. Let's find out what's been going on.
I'm curious.
They are working hard on this Monday. Hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs, he's been raided in 2 different states, California and Florida, all at the same time, of course. What are they looking for? I don't know, but let's talk about it.
A story we're following, and of course we're trying to gather more and more information about it here on Live and Now from Fox, as Diddy's home in Los Angeles has been raided by Homeland Security. Of course, we're learning more information. I do want to take you back out here before we get out to our Fox 11 team in their coverage, because some of this video is very dramatic, and we don't know a ton of information right now about this here on Live and Now from Fox. Of course, breaking news of this. As you can see, potentially law enforcement officials and other officials just outside of a gate, this on a street near the Beverly Hills area. Of course, we're following it very closely on Live Now from Fox. And of course, we're watching this. We didn't know exactly what we were seeing at the time. So this is just a little bit ago, as you can see a crowbar to get through this gate initially as well, the long guns and a multitude of people. As you'll see, they'll zoom out a little bit just to see the amount of force they are using to get inside this home. And of course, the complex in
the
which
whole army
this
for
home
Diddy
sits is a very expansive one for the American rapper and producer. You can see them checking inside a vehicle. We don't know exactly what is involved.
Rich people just be leaving their car doors
Always. Of course, he's not there, and they know it. You see, the first day they walked up to the range. Apparently, at this house, we have his children, his staff. They're all there.
We don't know a ton of information about this at all, but this was dramatic video coming in of the Los Angeles home there, raided by Homeland Security. Some of those images there on the backs of them. We also saw other images. I want to kind of quickly move to what else we saw as people were led away, potentially in custody. Don't know who these individuals are.
Farnsworth Bentley?
Diddy in any way, but you can see them, a dramatic video from our Sky Fox team there in Los Angeles as we continue to cover this.
More of a sharper dresser.
This part I cannot stand about raids. Everybody is treated like a suspect. Well, they already know the person they're investigating. They're not even there. They know this. They've been watching his properties. They know who's there and who's not there.
And our Fox 11 team is there on the ground right now as we speak. Let's take you out to some of their coverage here as we follow this developing story out of Los Angeles.
And then detain those 3 people inside. We haven't seen any signs of P. Diddy himself. Again, we're hearing that he was possibly in New York, but several people inside the home that will surely be questioned. Very chaotic scene when all of this happened. Lots of neighbors wondering what's going on, of course, and we'll keep you updated. But it's definitely going to be quite a scene here.
Nice.
When you see this number of law enforcement agencies coming together,
is all that back there
making this type of raid to such a big, high-profile mansion like this, in a neighborhood like this as well, this is very thought out, methodical, planned out for days. So they base this on a number of information gathering that they've received and evidence or what they're looking for. So clearly, this is not something they do lightly. They really go through the process of making sure that everything is ready before they conduct a raid like this. So yes, this took a lot of planning for all these multiple agencies to come together to actually now conduct a type of raid like this, as you're seeing right now with this street also shut down for the time being. Because Haley, you could see the perimeter has been set up in that neighborhood to keep just the public back from the work that's being done. And there you have the shot from Sky Fox. Again, these heavily armed vehicles right next to all those luxury cars. You already see a Porsche, a G-Wagon, so many luxury cars right there on that property. So it is a very differing juxtaposition there of what
I mean,
you're
Diddy
seeing.
seems like
But
a
look at this
predator, but
mansion
it's
here
like
in
they don't
Holly
need
Hills
to
where the
pull
raid
a
is taking
military.
place.
Like,
Again,
it's like
we
it's so
don't know
unnecessary.
what exactly
Yeah,
they're
surely.
looking for, who they're looking for, but again, this could possibly be
We about to have
linked
a
to
shootout
a
with
sex
Diddy and his
trafficking
people.
investigation.
Well, the announcer just said that it's connected to an ex trafficking investigation, and so I guess maybe that's an indication of the scale of this this investigation that they've been doing. And I know when they bust up rings that don't involve, you know, super high profile record producers, they're bringing out some pretty big guns.
Who, the
Different
culprits?
enforcement agents? No, like the groups that are doing the raids.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not about to have a shootout at Diddy's house. Like, he's not about to. If anything, he's just gonna get arrested.
Yeah.
If he were there.
Yeah, but I guess, you know, you never know what people would do in like a desperate situation where their backs up against the wall.
I guess they brought the tanks out almost. Like.
Yeah. I guess it's you know, you think it's more of a show, like they're putting on a show for us.
For sure.
Okay. Right, they probably know already what's going on.
Like she said, like they know he's not there.
Right.
They tracking his private jet. They knew it was somewhere else.
All right. Well, let's see if they found anything.
Involving rapper Sean Combs, the music executive. But as you heard from Haley right there, she believes, and she's been hearing, that we do not think that Sean Combs is on that property at home right now. He may be in New York as this raid is being conducted. But we do know from our reporting that over the course of the year already, just as early as March this year, there have been several lawsuits filed against Sean Combs. So clearly this could be part of it. We are not sure at this point. But again, Stu, if you could hear me, what are you seeing right now in terms of your point of view?
Honestly, Diddy's name has been mixed up into so much stuff
really
over the last several months. So, of course, it could be a number of things. I got to tell you, though, when I first saw this, I'm thinking, Cassie. This guy got extorted by Cassie. She and the personal trainer, they ran off with the bag, but he's still getting hemmed up, which is why he should have never settled with Cassie. Nah, whatever information she had over your head or whatever she was threatening to tell for a while trying to get money out of you, he should have said whatever, it's about to come out anyway. And they should have gone to court because, like it or not, you're about to end up in court anyway. And everything you tried to hide is going to come out.
And now he got $30 million less.
Well, again, you saw some of those officers right there at that one of the back houses.
Wow,
they did bring a ladder in. They actually went out and brought that ladder into that property.
Yes.
You see it right there. And then they brought another ladder. So there's probably something inside this building right here that they are very curious about, or they were, like you said, it was very well planned. They knew they were going to need that ladder to make access. So there's something inside this piece of property. I don't know if that was something that they had brought in with them as far as possible tools that they needed, but that was the only thing that seemed to be out of the ordinary, and that did come out of that back house that we just showed you.
What if Diddy was just in the car?
I was just thinking what's under that tarp.
Those Bearcats made their way up Mapleton
that's a good hiding place.
This raid, and then we watched as officers were getting through one of the pedestrian gates over here on this side of the property. Once they had breached that, well, then they opened those gates up right there, and those armored vehicles rolled in. They were very quick in whatever they needed to do. What if, like,
one of those air conditioning units
that
is
garage
like
door
fake?
went up very quickly,
like
and it doesn't seem to be actually a garage inside there. We've been trying to peek in with the camera every now and then. It looks like there's a large table inside there, so that might have been an office area or some sort of staging area, and that's where that they're doing. This isn't over by any means, and I think this is probably just getting underway. They just want to make sure that all these buildings are secure, and if there is anybody on this property, that they are in custody before they actually start whatever it is that they're looking for.
Trash cans
but
they have
again,
just
as
for
you
his
mentioned,
house.
very well planned, very quickly brutally executed.
Oh,
and of
wow.
course,
2,
a
4,
number of
6,
officers
8.
out here. I couldn't even venture to say how many of these
13.
armored officers that are on the property. You can see them right there. And this is just a small group. That was also one of the things. As soon as they made their way into that pedestrian gate, the first thing they did was open up all those doors on that Range Rover and then made their way into this portion of the home. And that's that garage that we've been talking about. That garage door went up very quickly. And of all the people that we've seen come out of the building, that's where they all came from. They walked them out, put them in this little corner right here, and that's where they've been questioning them ever since.
Look, they got his children in handcuffs. Word is his jet is on his way to a Caribbean island. No confirmation on whether or not he was on the jet, but he's not at this house. I mean, did they put the baby in handcuffs too?
Another ladder,
I
as you were mentioning.
I saw that one of his
couple
sons is
ladders
named
on
in the
site
suit.
as part of this raid. I don't know what they're looking for or where they're trying to reach, but yeah, we did see somebody carrying a ladder. But again, this could possibly be involving the sex trafficking investigation. And again, when we get more details, of course, we'll bring it to you. It is a big mansion indeed, owned by Bad Boy Films and one of Sean Combs's children. So again, this
house is huge, by the way. They're saying the ownership is under a Bad Boy entity and one of his children. And it's obvious that these folks knew exactly what they came there to look for. They knew where to go in this house. They got the ladder. This was well planned out. Who else will be able to tell them everything about this house and what to go look for in it? Settling with Cassie was a bad deal. That's all I'm going to say.
There you see law enforcement on the ground there as well. Haley, anything changing where you're at right now?
Just a lot more people showing up on scene. It's been pretty hectic out here. This all unfolded about 25 minutes ago, and I apologize that you couldn't hear me.
I'm sure most of them were just curious to see what was inside there.
Fox showing you all of this from overhead. But basically, it all started about 25 minutes ago. 30 or so law enforcement vehicles that were from the Department of Homeland Security, LASD, of course, LAPD assisting in this as well. And they pulled up to this home that's registered to
he got rid of all of the
Bad Boy Entertainment, one of
incriminating
companies, and
they said every room in his house is wired with cameras. All that footage got to be somewhere. I can't imagine he would just have it lingering around, incriminating himself and everybody else.
Yeah, I don't know. You'd be surprised. Like, in all of the true crime media that I've seen, like, criminals always keep like trinkets. Like, it's almost like to them it's no point in doing it if they can't revisit it, you know, in some form or fashion. So it's somewhere. It might not be in here, but it's somewhere.
We understand he may have flown on a private jet to New York, which I'm sure kind of threw off their plan, although this was very strategically organized. So I would assume by now, whether he is in New York or not, that he is likely in custody if he is involved in this. But again, we are hearing that this is involving P. Diddy and sex trafficking charges.
Why would he go to New York?
Extent or with what details, we don't yet know. But of course, we will be on top of this all day.
You would think he would go somewhere where they don't have extradition.
Mapleton Drive here in the 200 block, where they are in front of this home that involves P. Diddy, and will of course bring you
fly over some island and parachute out while nobody's looking.
Right now, this is law enforcement
you give me more ideas.
coming out right now.
What is that?
Walking down the street in uniform.
It's a headless
You see them right now.
female body, no arms.
Down the road.
Yes, from your vantage point, do you see them holding anything? Are they taking out any information? I can't really tell from where I am.
Tony, can you
they might want to start looking under that statue.
Brought out their law enforcement drone. Like they're putting that away now.
Okay, we are hearing from TMZ at this point that P. Diddy, Sean Combs' home in Miami is being raided as well. Again, TMZ reporting that his home in Miami is reportedly being raided right now as well.
And off the top at 5:30, we continue to follow breaking news out of Star Island. Several law enforcement agencies are raiding the home of hip-hop mogul P. Diddy.
And tonight, we are learning it may be tied to alarming allegations. Let's get right out to CBS News Miami's Larry Seward. He joins us live from the scene with what we know so far. So, Larry, what can you tell us at this point?
That earlier today, a helicopter hovered above one of
Diddy's
Yeah,
homes
let's get
there
that
that
aerial.
a similar law enforcement
What
they showed up there as well.
Let's get
to
that
search the
aerial
property.
shot.
It's not clear exactly what they're searching for or
I
the
want to see the
details of the
pool.
investigation. We've asked Homeland Security about that. They're only saying that this is part of an ongoing investigation led by New
Got an
York and obviously
RV?
the properties in Los Angeles
Nah, that's
and
Homeland
the
Security.
property here
okay.
in Miami being searched as we speak. We're going to stay on top of this story and bring you more details as we get it. We're back here live. We're looking at, again, HSI police setting up their investigation at this house. You can look and see the driveway, the gate.
They
It
busted
looks
that
like
open.
that gate has been disabled because it's sort of just leaning up against the pillar on the side as they're backing a van up into the property. Again, we're going to try to get as much information as we can. We talked to neighbors. They told us that these police officers showed up about 2 or 3 hours ago. So again, we'll dig for information, have more for you as it comes out. For now, we're live on Star Island. Larry C. with CBS News. Bye.
Okay, so all of this is stemming from New York. That's where the investigation started. Just last year, Diddy was involved in a lawsuit with Cassie. They had a law in New York that passed that allowed women to go after prominent men with these Me Too cases. Even if it was outside of the statute of limitations, they were able to bring up these lawsuits. Cassie, she sued Diddy for $30 million. He settled with her within 24 hours. She left him about 5 years ago and married the personal trainer that he hired for her. She had been trying to extort him, get money out of him. It did not work until she was able to file that lawsuit, and right away he settled it, not wanting her to reveal more information. Paid her off. So whatever information he did not want to come out, well, it's coming out anyway. He should have saved all that money for his legal team, because he's definitely going to need it. Listen, these people did not get these search warrants in 2 different states to just walk around the house. They already have information. I'm sure enough to charge him already, and that's how they were able to get onto his property.
Let's see. Let's check out some of these comments. Maybe there's some more inside info.
Let's see.
Mommy of Dose says, what's done in the darkness will come to the light.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I hope he takes everybody down too, because he's definitely not alone.
Yeah, he's a big player. And that's really what I think a lot of us learned with the whole R. Kelly case, was that R. Kelly was, just a minor player, like in the grand scheme of things. And that's what R. Kelly was saying. He's like, you think I do this by myself?
Yeah, right. R. Kelly's definitely a low level. I mean, at the end of the day, the people in charge of these record labels, and not Diddy, I'm talking about people above him.
Right.
It's them.
Yeah.
It's the whole industry.
Absolutely.
And not, the people on the top, the very top.
Mm-hmm.
We know who they are too, so it's just a matter of time. But that's the thing, like, we'll see if it goes up. It usually doesn't go up to the top. They usually will scapegoat somebody that's, lower down, and, try to wrap it up and leave it there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really the people at the top who are doing this. We know who they are.
Yeah. This is what Will Salter 8113 says. This is what happens when you piss off the wrong people. Right? When people just aren't playing by the rules anymore, or they're bringing too much heat. I think Cassie's lawsuit really did, open up a lot of people's eyes. Like, wait a minute, somebody like Diddy is involved, who else, right? And I think the more people start to go down that rabbit hole, it gets really dangerous for the people at the top, right? So they're like, take him, take that.
Throw him to the fire. Take that, take that. Nice.
Yep.
I see what you did there.
Black Sea responded and says, or Black Sea 9293, maybe not pissed at all, maybe wrapping him up and move on name. To the next
guy who owns the island.
Interesting.
Let's see what Eddie Elliott says. When we all learn that when you do deals with the devil, he always stabs you in the back. Okay, Jay-Z, you're up next.
I've heard that.
That'd be phenomenal.
I've heard he's coming.
Get him out of here.
Yep.
Get all these bums out of here. But also, again, these people are low level. They're executives, but they're still under people.
Yeah, because some of the responses to Eddie Elliott, like Black Seed commented again and said, that's the whole government.
For sure.
Yep. And then Julia Jointer says, yes, J and B is next. Uh-oh.
Get them out of here, all of them. And Leor and I don't even know all of their names, but we know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
All these record label executives.
And you know, it makes a lot of sense once you do know like who owns these industries, right? Like the music industries are owned by the same group of people that own the prawn industry, right? And so we know that a lot of those so-called, you know, prawn actors are actually trafficked individuals. And so, and I mean, this is just another piece in the puzzle.
Just like the celebrities. And we know that they have a certain belief system. And we know that that belief system allows for them to do certain things. Just because it's, you know, permitted in their belief. So it's like, we know who's doing this.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of time before the rest of the world knows. And then they won't have anywhere to run this time.
Right.
But the thing is, though, like that one person says, the government too. It's like the people who are in charge of these industries are also running the government.
Right.
So that's why they do this big show. They're like, oh, look at here. Look at us break into Diddy's house and bust down the gate. But like, you know, Diddy was put on by somebody.
Mm-hmm. And is.
Right?
To this day.
We know who that person is. And allegedly these people have been to the parties at Diddy's house too. Like they were there too. So I mean, why are those people not getting raided?
Yeah.
That's why I really hope that all those cameras that he had wired in his house and got footage of the people who are really in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Like what's his name? Leor Cohen and what's the other guy's name? I mean, all of them dudes.
Clive.
Yeah, right? Clive Davis. All of them.
Yeah. And that's what Tracy Dumasse says. Nah, they all bow down to someone at the end of the day. Nobody would have thought Diddy would ever be held accountable, and rumors of his many crimes have been ongoing since the 90s. The 90s! It's 2024.
Exactly.
Yep.
You know, all these people share a certain belief system that promotes this type of behavior.
Mm-hmm. Divided We Stand has a question for us. Does anyone else find it strange that Homeland Security is doing this when the FBI handles SIG's crimes and human trafficking?
That's what I said. As soon as he said Homeland Security, I went, Homeland Security?
Yeah, that's the new one for this type of investigation. Oh, let's see. Shane versus Damian said the same thing. Might be some kind of immigration related trafficking going on, plus some kind of customs violations. That's a good theory. Okay, Sue Lindsay 1372 says she doesn't think that she says I don't in response to she doesn't find it strange. I don't watch YouTube border security. It may have to do with drugs flown internationally, which Homeland oversees, or other things / this has got to be going on for a few years. Katt brought him up. Bieber, so many have spoken about him. Just my opinion, but Homeland gets involved when flights are used as well.
Okay. Definitely has a private jet.
Yep. Oh, this person is talking about the private jet. Horsey Fan says, yep. And why didn't NORAD intercept his private jet, jetting across the U.S. to the safety of Cape Verde, where Diddy can't be extradited?
It's like you said, he did go to some place he can't get extradited.
I mean, why wouldn't he?
Right. I mean, you got that's what you have a private jet for.
Yeah.
To be able to be out.
Mm-hmm.
The next person, Vaughn92, says, Cat Williams said this is the year of exposure.
Yep. Welcome
It
to
sure
the apocalypse.
is. It's been a long time coming. I hope y'all got your popcorn.
Yeah, munch.
Because it's just gonna, like, hopefully, it's just gonna just keep getting worse. Because all your favorite idols are involved.
Exactly. And I love that you use that word. That speaks to what Indira Stone 7382 said. Y'all said people will be exposed and taken out in the church, government, music industry, ... Because earlier this year we saw, or it might have been, I think it was in December. Yeah, it was right around Christmas. I remember specifically that Bishop T.D. Jakes was exposed for being associated with Diddy, and people were like, well, what would a pastor be doing? It's not like Diddy was in his church. Like Bishop is in Diddy's house of worship. And so, the Bible says like not to worship false idols, and for whatever reason, people are just like, anyway.
Right? I love them. My favorite star.
Right?
Like, okay, fallen stars.
I always think about that when I see the TV show American Idol. I'm just like, wow, they just put it right in our face.
Yeah, and people just don't know what words mean, so they just, they eat it right up.
Mm-hmm.
The next comment, Michael Mack, 38, expounds on what Indira Stone said. He said, it's overdue, especially where presidential and state-level politicians are concerned. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Because it goes up and up and up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you see how the prez just is like creepily sniffing on all these little children. Like, we see what's going on.
And these are not, children who don't have parents. Like they have pretty high profile parents, like senator parents who are standing right there getting sworn in.
Exactly.
Right. And, he feels comfortable enough to just do that in full view of everybody.
Emboldened, recorded on camera. And that's why they gotta go.
Absolutely. Breeze Creation thinks, oh, this is an overreach. He says, you would think they're looking for El Chapo.
That's what I was saying. They came through with the guns ready, like as if they was gonna have a shootout at Diddy's house. Like, Diddy's running scared. He's not about to have a fight to the finish. It's definitely on for show. But the J Streets 1983 says, I'm gonna need to see them raid Oprah's house too at some point. Exactly, because Oprah's all types of implicated.
In various different things.
They had all types of stories about people going missing at her school in Africa.
Yeah.
The all-girls school in Africa. And everybody was like, Oprah, why don't you build a school in Chicago where you're from? Like, they definitely need resources in schools in Chicago. And she's like, no, I'm going to go to this other country way over in Africa. And because it's not about, like, giving school and giving resources. It's about, like, setting up trafficking.
Right.
Because the stories that came out of that place are outrageous.
And very quiet. Because you have to kind of, like, be looking for it. It's one of those things, like, you won't just hear about it if you're not, in certain circles or, like, in search of certain types of information. Like, it won't ever come up.
Yeah, because not that many people know of her association with a guy, John of God, I think his name is, in Brazil, who had the camp where he was doing all types of impregnation of, like, young women and all types of crazy stuff. The same stuff that the dude from the island is doing, and she's friends with him too.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
Absolutely.
It's like, in this world, you don't get to be a billionaire without having certain, strings around your neck. People get propped up because they know that those people aren't going to actually take their resources and go against the system.
Yeah. Right. If anything, they're going to use their platforms to mislead the people and collect their check. Just like how Oprah was recently exposed for pushing Weight Watchers on everybody for decades. Meanwhile, she was taking weight loss pills.
Yeah, just be fronting and lying. And I've never seen Jay-Z do anything for Marcy Projects. Marcy Projects is down bad. And that's where he's from. And it doesn't take much to fix some things up over there.
Yeah.
Or help some people out over there. It doesn't take much because they don't have much.
Right.
But he's supposed to be a billionaire, and somehow like people idolize this man, and he doesn't do anything for his own neighborhood. In fact, he actually does things to the detriment of his neighborhood, because there were a lot of people who own their own homes, a lot of people who look like him that own their own homes in the same neighborhood that the Barclays Center was built in. And they were really upset because, he was pivotal in getting those people pushed out of their homes by eminent domain, which doesn't even, like a stadium doesn't even count as eminent domain because it's not a part of the city or the state. It's a private entity. And he took less than 1% of the Barclays Center to move all those people who own their homes outright out of their homes and without equal compensation. There was all types of protests going on about it, but yet some people still support him because they like his music, which is also full of degradation and like there's all types of terrible themes about him selling drugs to the community, and like just because he says it in a colorful way with a colorfully poetic way doesn't mean it's good.
Right.
Get him out of here.
He's fired. Yep. 45 caliber Hebrew says, enter not into the path of the wicked and go not into the way of evil men. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 14.
Yeah, I'm here for all of them getting taken down, like especially those at the top, because I do believe that people like Diddy are not in charge of this. Like people like Clive Davis's right. House too. That's what SSRJ Perazzo says. Like these people trained him how to do this.
Exactly.
He didn't learn how to do actual blackmail on his own. These people trained them how to do this because this is their thing. And they just follow orders because they've already been blackmailed, right? Like Clive Davis hooked up with Diddy when he was like 26 years old.
Exactly.
Like he didn't know how to blackmail anybody, but these people have been blackmailing people for decades, maybe hundreds of years. Right? Doing the kiss the ring ritual, the oculum infamy, I think it's called. Look it up, right? Like there's a reason that we have all these terms like kiss my butt and brown nosing, and like that comes from somewhere. That's just not random. Look that up.
Yeah. Right, because I was thinking, I went down a little rabbit hole on my own a few years ago. So I was like just taking note of how much, like what a large percent of like the jokes in our like pop culture revolve around like butt stuff. I was like, this is odd. Like I never found it funny. And it always has the laugh track on it. I'm just like,
and it's interesting that they use the term pop culture as if like it's popularized by the people, right? But it's not, because there's a small group of people who keep putting certain ideas in people's minds because they control media, they control Hollywood, and they control entertainment. So it's not popular culture. It's actually like unpopular. It's because it's a small group of people in control that keep repeating the same narratives. And then it becomes popular because they spread it through the populace.
And the root word of culture is cult.
Yeah, it's nasty work.
Yeah, it's a mind game.
Woo! That was a dark one. And nothing even really happened, but I mean, the implications are huge. But we got to give a shout out to Pink Book Lessons.
Always. Thank you, Pink Book, for your in-depth reporting.
Sleuth detective work.
Absolutely. She's breaking stories you'll never hear on the mainstream.
Always keeping it real.
Absolutely. Holding people accountable, no matter how big they are.
For real. And no matter what they look like also, because
right.
That's a big thing about Pink Book Lessons. It's like, you know, people have this cloak of protection against them because they're from certain races or because they're women. And like, Pink Book's not hearing none of that.
If you're doing bad, you got to be exposed.
That's a fact.
So we're going to give her a thumbs up.
Thumbs up from us for Pink Book Lessons.
Yeah.
Definitely a friend of the channel. Definitely go subscribe to Pink Book Lessons and watch all of her content because it's good stuff.
It really is.
And while you're in the business of liking and subscribing, like and subscribe to us too. Meta Watch Party.
Yeah, so we can get mo meta, mo better. It's a Meta Watch Party.